Books, books, books. Now we will shift to a more literary subject. In a few minutes, we will have on the show 6 professional book reviewers to talk about books that they read that were set in Africa and what they thought about them.
Then a book trailer about the book discussed will follow the review.
12-year-old Martania lived a simple little life. Nothing really worried her. She was just a normal 12-year-old living in Sierra Leone at the time. Martania had a drastic lifestyle change when the rebels came to attack her village. She was taken away from her family and had to escape from the rebels. All she wanted to do was die. She only hoped for her death. When she escaped, she found herself lost, hurt, and alone. Martania spent a couple of months in a hospital where she soon found her cousins and later discovered she was pregnant. Martania and her family were relocated to a shelter for those of the attack. She became very popular with the press because her story was like no other. Martania moved to Canada some years later with the man that sponsored her. Martania now attends college and travels all throughout North America, telling about her struggles and her accomplishments. Martania tells her story well. She invites her readers in. In the bite of the mango, you will get to see the struggles of the war through the eyes of a little girl, being told by the woman she has become. It is recommended for teens and adults. You will not be able to put this book down. It is a definite must-read.
And what will you be reviewing today?
I'm reviewing Chinua Achebe's No Longer at Ease. In Chinua Achebe's 1960 African novel, No Longer at Ease, it tells the story of Obi Okonkwo, grandson of Okonkwo, the protagonist of the previous book, Things Fall Apart. In this novel, it starts out with Obi in a trial for taking bribes and taking advantage of young women that want to go to college. It then switches back to a flashback before the trial took place. Also, he has to face the challenges of following the old African traditions or just forgetting them and changing with the world. Since he has been taught in the European way at his schools and has learned the European point of view, all of his knowledge of African tradition has been lost. This problem is brought upon him when he tries to marry an Osu, or outcast. He also does not attend his mother's funeral. Throughout this book, he also struggles with financial problems, and when he loses Clara, the Osu, and his mother, he falls into a troubling time and ends up taking the bribes from people. This novel is great for an armchair traveler who wants to travel to Africa or learn the heritage of it.
I'm Chantel.
And what book will you be reviewing today?
A Dead Man in Tangier. Michael Pierce's A Dead Man in Tangier is a novel set in Tangier, Morocco during 1912. Seymour, an Englishman, is sent to Tangier, Morocco to investigate the murder of a French man, Bossu. While pig sticking, also known as boar hunting, Bossu was stabbed to death by a local civilian that clearly had something against Bossu. This mystery sounds like a simple one to figure out because it is in such a small village. The only problem is that Seymour does not know a lot about the culture and does not speak the language. This book is good for all ages and for anyone who wants to read a good mystery or a good book about Africa. The book is good for those people who want to travel to Africa or for those armchair travelers. Join Seymour and his friends in helping them find the murderer. Do you think you can figure out who the murderer is?
I'm Candace.
And what book will you be reviewing today?
I'll be reviewing Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight. Alexandra Fuller's Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is a riveting travel memoir in which Alexandra, or as she is preferably called, Bobo, travels with her quartet of larger-than-life family members, Van, her sister, Nicola, her mom, Timothy, her dad, and herself. This 2001 Random House Trade published novel portrays Bobo's struggles in finding herself and fitting in as a white child in Africa. On the other hand, she has additional physical problems that go far beyond just her mind. For instance, her sister, Olivia, while supposed to be supervised by Bobo, had walked into a nearby pond and drowned. This caused major tension in the family and brought about Nicola, Alexandra's mom's drinking, which caused melancholia for the quartet. Although the memoir seems all tears and no laughs, that is not the case. The Fullers are not the typical stick-in-the-mud, boring family. They are the adventurous types. They are the people who say spin the globe and wherever it lands, we will go there. Except they do not do this. They choose Africa because it is dangerous yet fun. Within Africa, they travel to many places, including Zimbabwe, Zambia, and more. This travel memoir is a great read for a male or a female, if you are planning to travel to Africa or just to sit at home in a comfy chair. In addition, for those individuals looking for an adventure, this is the memoir for you. Join the larger-than-life family, the Fullers, on their action-packed adventure through Africa. Meet up with the two girls, Bobo and Van, and their parents, Nicola and Tim, as they face the obstacles of Africa and their own emotions, such as Nicola's drunkenness, or the border patrol, and even living smack in the middle of a civil war. Travel with them through Zambia, Zimbabwe, and more, as Alexandra tells her fun-filled yet dangerous story of growing up as a white child in Africa. So join the gang and read this gripping travel memoir. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight.
Mara Mosley has had a good life. She's a thriving detective agency, she has friends and family, and she has respect from the community. What more could anyone need? But then, a dark figure of her past returns. She is forced to recall horrible memories that she has blocked out, the memories that haunted her younger years. In the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, you are intrigued by the different plot lines and characters. You will never want to put it down. To find out more about Mara Mosley and her life, pick up one of the books from the series #1 Ladies Detective Agency.
Wangthanda mama, wangthanda, oh mina we baba wangthanda, wangihleba wena wangthanda, ngiqambela manga, ngimbeka amabalanga magala, wangthanda ngase ngamthanda, ubenzo wakhe wena ufuna enzo wakho yini na, wangthanda oh mina ngithandile madu oh mina ngithanda oh mina kade ngimthanda.
Hello, I'm Nick Broussard, here to review Whatever You Do, Don't Run. This is a great collection of riveting stories written by Peter Allison. Published in 2008 by Morris Publishing, Peter Allison shares his experiences as an African safari guide. Peter Allison, originally from Australia, moved to Africa at the age of 19. In Africa, he pursued his love for wildlife. The stories are a range of fun adventures to nail-biting encounters with African wildlife. Stationed in Botswana, Peter learned everything about native plants, animals, and birds. In these stories, you not only learn about African animals, but you also get to meet all different types of tourists that are being led by Allison. This book is great no matter if you're an armchair traveler or if you're actually about to embark on an African safari.